Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And day 4, the opening weekend, the Atlanta home series has just concluded. What a day it was. Game 5s all across the park. So much drama, so much to talk about here. A load of fantastic maps, to be honest, to run through today. These series were honestly great to watch. Call of Duty this season is going to be fantabulous. That's not even a word. Let's just run with it regardless, because yeah, these matches certainly a sign of things to come so far this season, especially when we start to get some more heavy hitter matches, as we saw today as well at the major championships coming up not too many weeks away from now. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new, as always I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. These were the matches of the day. Raven Surge, Empire Rokkr, FaZe OpTic. Lots to talk about here. Let us just dive in. Parasite making his league debut over at the London Royal Ravens. They did not have the best start to the series. Just thought I'd mention this as well. Breaking point, we've launched our Discord. If you'd like to join that, the link to join will be down below, as with plenty of other stuff we are going to run through today. First of all, you guys may have noticed earlier in the day, Gunless supposedly has been playing on 60Hz so far this entire season, and 60Hz monitor refresh rate, that being the fact that he hadn't changed his monitor over to 144, 240Hz, whatever it is possibly capable of. Supposedly 240Hz, and he was absolutely crushing London Royal Ravens here on map number 1. Felt like London maybe got a bit frantic towards the latter half of this one. Seattle closed out. Honestly, London did have a massive advantage in this early on. Gunless was just out of control on this new hertz rate, refresh rate on his monitor. So definitely something, if you guys have a 240Hz, 144Hz monitor, make sure it is actually enabled, as Gunless, well, supposedly has got a lot better as a result. Seattle got 1-0, very back and forth map as you can see right here, but they pull away from the, the very Ravens right at the very end. Then Alex, though, in the search and destroy, looked like he was going to bring it back. A crazy 1v3 for him. The second 1v3 after Kenny's one that we talked about yesterday of the regular season. He wins this to almost bring the comeback. Goes to 5-5, but Seattle closing out 6-5 and go up 2-0 in the series. Honestly, a very close matchup, but yeah, didn't quite go the way of the Ravens. But Alex decided, look, I'm just going to take over this series. Absolutely dominating the control as well. Some pretty crushing rounds right here to close out the game. A nice little 4-peat as well. I mean, this is pretty disgusting. Taking out Gunless as well to actually win Ravens a map. They move back to 2-1 in the series. Then they win the hardpoint as well. They win this, map 4 hardpointers we're going to look at right here. That wasn't even close. Completely dominated the checkmate hardpoint. Goes to game number 5, but Seattle, a team that really couldn't win a game 5 to save their lives last time around, they win this game 5. Parasite was going absolutely off. I thought I'd mention this as well, that Clayton says, a few other people pointing it out as well, the fact that the trophy system was absolutely dominating this weekend. So many trophy kills. It does so much damage, honestly, when it's, some close range combat and something is thrown at it. There's a lot of damage that the trophy pumps out. Definitely the number 1 KD of the entire week. And the fact that I guess you could talk about it dying and stuff when people shoot it, so maybe its KD isn't exactly spectacular. But yeah, certainly the trophy system was being a bit of a pain for a lot of people. But Parasite, back in the day, of course, Call of Duty 2013 World Champion on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, a game, of course, in which Raid was first introduced. Definitely his map, and he absolutely dominated this one. They go down 2-0 to Seattle, but yeah, Parasite clutches up. He got 7 kills in 2 rounds, gets an ace right here, then 3 kills in the next round to bring, to bring London back within touching distance of the guys. Parasite going absolutely off on the main stage here at Top Laundry, completely destroying the entire roster of this Seattle Surge. But it was not enough. He basically got no help from the rest of his team, and yeah, it wasn't exactly ideal. Chrome points this out at 60Hz will ruin your life, 240Hz before and after. Gunless obviously very, very happy with that one, but well, Seattle Surge closed it out 6-2. The rest of the guys on the Ravens really didn't put up too much resistance, regardless of Parasite. And all things considered, Parasite didn't have the greatest series, seemed to be getting into it towards the end, but a good series win for Seattle, certainly, right? Not one I was expecting them to win. I thought that Ravens would be slight favourites, but it goes game 5. They clutch them in a game 5. That is pretty impressive from them. Octane also had a very good series as well, and Prestinni was saying, look, the entire series, he was on like 130 ping, so he didn't have the greatest server latency, but was still, well, obviously their team still won the map. That's pretty impressive stuff. Let's go on to game number 2 then, because this started off already with a bit of a bang. Yesterday we saw Los Angeles Thieves versus the Minnesota Rokkr. We weren't really sure what's going on. The map 1 ended up being replayed. This time around it happens again, but it wasn't so clear why it had to be replayed. We could kind of see on stream there was a lot of lag. We thought maybe it was just viewing side of things, and maybe for the players it wasn't quite the same deal. But yeah, for some reason Minnesota apparently were lagging super hard on that server, and they were getting server skips all across the park. And as you can see, Shotzzy starts off like 17 in 1. They got 153 to 2, but clearly Minnesota maybe weren't taking it so serious and were trying to talk to the refs and say, look, can we get this replayed? They end up getting it replayed, and as Slasher says at the time, this server is lagging so bad right now. I know Minnesota is losing absolute full, and Attach says to the same effect. And as Accuracy says, we are literally getting connection interrupted every 10 seconds on our screen. So the CDL come to their senses once again for the second day in a row. It's absolutely remarkable, and they decide to replay the map. They go again from scratch, but Dallas Empire still take it down. As Crone says, look, map 1 of Dallas versus Rokkr will be replayed according to the coaching staff over at that team, that being Brian Satan accuracy, of course, on that lineup. But still, Dallas take it 1-0. They move out 250 to 201. A very, very back and forth map, as you can see right here. These beautiful graphics the line makes over at GG Breaking Point. If you're not following already, you should definitely consider doing so. So yeah, 250 to 201 map number 1. But Rokkr bounced back in the search, right? And this is what's super impressive from Rokkr and why there's so many storylines to talk about as a result of this weekend's. Rokkr haven't lost a search yet this entire season. They went 2-0 in search of the Kickoff Classic. They won their search in their defeat to Los Angeles Thieves, and then they win this search against the Dallas Empire, right? That's pretty impressive. A score like the Dallas Empire, they're putting up numbers in search on a regular basis. So they win this one 6-3, take it to the control. It goes to Garrison. Seems like it's played every single map at this point, and Rokkr win this one as well. It goes 3-2 in the end. Very much a close back and forth affair, but Rokkr take the map number 3, goes to game 4, once again on Garrison, but Huke the Nuke absolutely goes mental in this one. Honestly, Huke showing why he's such maybe an underrated force. You could say last season, the fact that maybe Huke didn't get the props that he quite deserved. And yeah, this time around just being such a main slayer for this team. And yeah, here honestly it was a pretty close fought affair. I think it went like 250 to 201 once again, just like map number 1 did. But yeah, Huke was definitely a big part of Dallas closing that one out. The reigning world champions, of course, goes to a game 5 though. And in the game 5 too, well, no one's really, well, I suppose a lot of people surprised. I thought maybe Dallas would actually come up with the fire here. But Rokkr, so disciplined, so consistent, they win yet another search and destroy. Iceman accuracy, 9 in 4 on the whole, and as you can see right here, 6-2 at the end of the day. Phenomenal performance from the Minnesota Rokkr, taking down the world champions just a few days after losing to Los Angeles Thieves. They beat the world champions, and again, great series from them. Lots to talk about here going forward, right? If they can get their respawn sorted, this team is so deadly, and maybe some things to say about the Dallas Empire as well. And of course, I'm sure we're going to talk about this tomorrow in a little bit more detail. I did mention in the video earlier today, FaZe versus OpTic on Valentine's Day. They really gave us Rokkr. Yeah, certainly they've been getting cloud somewhat for this, and we'll talk about that I think in more detail a little bit tomorrow. As Crim says, nice one to the social media manager for absolutely jinxing us in this. Let's go on to the final series then, because there's a lot to discuss today and I want to get through it all in rapid fire for you guys. This I thought was pretty interesting. I remember a video I made a couple of years ago, I imagine to this day, on it was Scump versus Formal at the time, OpTic Gaming versus Luminosity, that Formal had gone on to that team at the time, and this was actually a 3-2 matchup. Formal beat, I think it was game 5, round 11. Formal's Luminosity beat out OpTic's Scump at the time, and well, Scump's OpTic I suppose at the time. That was actually when Dashy couldn't get over and they had Zoom win the team instead, so it's a bit of an interesting time around this whole period. But 2 years ago today, they were fighting against each other, and today they were reunited. I thought it was pretty cool given it's all Valentine's Day and all this type of stuff. But map number 1 against FaZe, honestly this was a crazy map. It looked like OpTic had the advantage, and they just about clutch up at the end. Honestly, they would have completely lost this rotation if Dashy and co didn't go huge. Dashy gets the 2-piece, as you can see right there, to close out the game, get the final few seconds they need. If they didn't get this time, they probably would have lost this map. It was very much a close one. It seemed like FaZe almost brought the comeback in this. Crazy series on the whole. Well, at least the respawns were very crazy and very intense. But yeah, well, this map number 1 goes the favour of OpTic Gaming. But in this map number 2, it was just absolutely out of control. I've never really seen dominance like this in a search and destroy, especially given that lately we've been talking about, okay, like OpTic Chicago, they're practicing a fair bit of search and destroy. They're trying to improve in that game mode. They're playing best of 11s up against Dallas and teams like this. But in this one, FaZe were just absolutely dominant. I mean, this 1v2 here from aBeZy that he really shouldn't have got. Formal decides to run away over towards this lower, I suppose, like where the docks are or whatever, and it gets caught in the process. Not around you should realistically ever be losing if you're OpTic Chicago. That was their chance to get into the map. They didn't really do so. They go down 3-0. They lose the map in a 6-0 fashion, get completely destroyed on a Miami search and destroy. Scump drops a donut. You certainly do not see that every day, but they regain pretty successfully. They come into this checkmate control. Lots of questions to talk about control tomorrow as well. Like, is this a game that we should be using, especially given something like checkmate where pretty much every single round, with the exception of the final one, was just defense dominating it every single time. OpTic got defense the final rounds. FaZe made it close, but OpTic Chicago closed it out when it mattered to go up 3-2 obviously in the map, win the map, and take a 2-1 series advantage. Then it looked like they were going to close it out. Game 4, Moscow searching at Moscow, hardpoint even. They had an advantage. Seemed like OpTic were definitely in the ascendancy for the majority of the map. This I thought was funny as well. A couple of you guys pointed out to me, winning Sun, Hex in the background to when Dashy and co were playing, and it looked like they were going to win the series on Moscow. Hardpoint definitely was in their favour for a time. They had a nice rotation over towards P3, then to P4, it was looking pretty solid as well, but aBeZy decided to go absolute god mode, gets an incredible 3-piece. I mean, we've seen all the XM4s, all the 74Us doing absolute damage. Dashy basically didn't lose a gunfight the entire series, but in this very one single instance right here, aBeZy goes Super Saiyan with the Krieg, of course, gets this incredible 3-piece, takes down Dashy, secures the spawns for his team, and they close it out 250 to 245. Probably the best map I've seen this entire season, was so back and forth, and well, capped off with such a great moment from aBeZy, with not his traditional gun as well. Typically, he's an SMG player, of course, right up in your face, doing it with the Krieg, and they do what is required to close out the map. Then it goes to game 5, and the dominance continues in incredible fashion. You can see right here, the comeback that FaZe made right at the end, those last couple of hills, looked like OpTic were going to be there, but it wasn't quite to be towards the end. And then that game number 5 was very, very surprising to me. I mean, as you can see right here, they win 6-1, absolutely clinical. I mean, every single round, it seemed like if it was a 1v1, it was always going to go in the favor of FaZe. Haven't really seen dominance like this in a very long time. There's probably more to discuss here. The fact that OpTic Chicago Search and Destroy, we've, well, suppose he's been relatively decent up against, of course, Atlanta FaZe when they played Los Angeles Guerrillas a few days ago. It wasn't exactly the cleanest Search and Destroy you've ever seen, which does beg the question, how good is OpTic Chicago Search? Did FaZe just have some incredible things prepared this time, or were they just incredibly clutch? Because this level of dominance, I mean, all the respawns were super intense and super close. The Search and Destroys were just absolute blowouts, right? Not something I was expecting to happen. I thought that OpTic would have the clutch factor when it came down to that game 5 Search and Destroy, but yeah, didn't happen on the day, and FaZe take the victory in this one. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, this was a massive, well, a massive series on the whole, given that seed 1 in the group gets the second round bye or whatever in the bracket for the major. So a pretty big deal. FaZe end up winning this. That could give them a significant advantage in the major at the end of the month. Might mean that OpTic has a bit of a harder time if they win all their other matches, as we are expecting them to, given the standings that we have currently in the group. But again, really intrigued to hear your thoughts on this, right? Really interesting series to me. I mean, the Search and Destroy is super clinical. What to say about that? What do OpTic do to try and improve on this going forwards? And well, can FaZe keep up this performance level throughout the rest of this month and into that major coming in just a few weeks' time? As Arcitys says, lose a pre-season match, everyone starts sleeping on us. GG's to OpTic, 2-0 in the league. Very impressive from them. And as Dashy says, just to finish up the video, lost composure. GG's FaZe lost 3-2. So intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a lot to discuss on this as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.